I didn't do anything this time.
It's always your fault.
Thunderous hammer that will sing across all the power of Thor. Hear my hands, lightning strikes as a storm through the valleys of death.
You hear the Thor call? Somebody calling Thor? What's going on, gentlemen? Welcome to the Dragon Ship.
Let's go.
I am Glenn Lawrence, and I am surrounded by a bunch of Viking hooligans and the God Amongst Men. We got AJ, the Viking detailer. We got this jabroni named Paul, goes by RuPaul during the day.
Wow.
Wow.
So we got Nuke, who thinks he's a duke, but he goes low with them sleuts. We got Mike Steele, who is no, I'm not gonna say it. He's not as hard as Steele. No, it's so gay. It's so gay. And of course, we got Thor, the God Amongst Men, the one that's turning into Odin. And we have a familiar face. Why? Could my eyes be deceiving me? Is it the prodigal son? Has he returned?
Son of Thor.
Huds.
We got the Hudsman.
Philly's best dating coach.
Philly's best dating coach.
Gay dating coach. Oh my! I wish I had that video just to drop right now for you. Oh man. So today, you guys, we are going to be talking about 5 tools to help men overcome life's obstacles. It seems that, we always think everything's good and we got it together when things are going good. But once, something, just one little thing gets taken off course or, rearranged a little differently, it could seem like the whole world is collapsing. And it's like the domino effect. It's like, it's raining. Now you got your tire flat in the middle of the highway. And you know what? You got a ticket, all at the same time. It's like everything happens all at once. And it's like, what tools do guys need to have to kind of keep things together, to kind of get a grip on everything, and how to be victorious over these difficult obstacles life throws our way? That's what we're going to be talking about today on the Dragon Ship, because a rising tide does what?
Raises all ships.
That's right.
No, lifts all boats, something like that. And we don't bone our birds. Whose phone is ringing?
No,
We are professional podcasters, guys.
This is not how professionals do this.
Wow. What's this amateur hour?
Hey Thor, I just wanted to say hi. I'm on TV, Thor. I just wanted to say hi. How you doing? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Well, hold on. Glenn's getting mad. I gotta go. Glenn's getting mad. All right, bye. Anyways, guys. What's up?
Oh,
my apologies. I got a work phone over here. It hasn't rang in like a month, and it decided to ring. So
work.
No,
we're having this is work. We're doing the real work here.
It is. I left it on apparently when I had to go for this minor appointment a couple weeks ago.
No.
Got turned off.
You and your default iPhone ringtone.
It's work. What are you gonna do? They got locked down.
Such a boomer.
I figured they'd security lock it out and it'd be dead by now, but no.
But I'm gonna throw this question out there to you guys. Have you guys ever been in like a situation where it just kind of seems like the shit just keeps on piling on top of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, have you guys ever experienced that, or am I the only one?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's interesting because we attract everything in our world, right? And so if you have a bad moment, like you get up in the morning and you stub your toe, and you let that, you just sit there and go, God damn it, and you're so pissed off, and you're just focused on how shitty that is, and then next thing you know, nothing's working right, the plumbing's not working, and your dog's sick, and you finally get in your car, you're running late for work, and you start hitting all the red lights. You're attracted to that shit. And a lot of that is because of your mindset about what's going on. And you're focused on how everything's crappy in the moment. And if you can't snap out of that, the whole rest of your day will be ruined, you know? So
I mean, I'm totally feeling it right now because like I'm dealing with a stomach bug. My grandfather's in the hospital. I'm still waiting on my clutch to come back. I had a flat tire on the motorcycle, all within the last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you would have went to Harley, you could have got tires for life.
AJ, have you tried
Oh.
therapy? Therapy will solve all your problems if you just went to therapy, my
No,
man.
prayer
No,
will
no.
solve all your problems.
Yeah.
With-
Manifest
sit on
it.
your butt
Manifest a
and
better
pray.
life.
I need to find
Well,
one
you
of
know,
those
it's-
trad,
it's kinda-
trad thoughts and wife her up, right? That'll fix everything.
Here's the crazy thing is a little bit of all of what you guys said is very true.
Yep.
It kind of goes all back to what Paul was talking about, what you manifest.
mhm.
So if you are praying, you're praying for a positive and better outcome than what you're dealing with. You are essentially manifesting that. You're relying on God to bring this to fruition, right? For you. If you're, thinking happy thoughts like Mary Poppins, and you know what? Mary Poppins is going to be your inspiration for happy thought, but you're still trying to manifest it. You're still doing something to try to bring that positive outcome to light.
Well, I just
but-
want to say too, I mean, even if you're not religious or whatever, happiness at the end of the day, happiness is between your ears, right? You can choose how you think and how you feel about something at any moment, so you could, you might stub your toe and it might suck, but you could shake that off and be like, I'm going to have a good day. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care. I'm going to have a good day. And you will have a good day.
Nightstand.
It's up here,
Yeah, it's like right now with all the
Yep.
crap that I got going on, I'm trying to keep a positive mental mindset and I'm pushing forward. Shit happens.
Yeah.
I got
You
the-
get to hang out with the Glenn Lawrence today.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
And like I got the flat tire fixed. Luckily, it wasn't that bad on the bike. It slipped the bead. I limped at home, put some Dawn dish soap around the wheel, and then hit it with 40 pounds of PSI. Boom, rebedded.
Nice.
You guys know.
Now, like I said, if you got a Harley, you could have got tires for life.
Harley's not open at 4:00 in the morning though.
Tires for life. I'll never pay for tires.
I
Man,
mean,
this
at
is
the end of the
sponsored by
day,
Harley.
is that why you spend $20,000 on a bike so that you get free tires? I mean,
No,
tires
because
are
like
expensive.
it's what a
we
real
could-
man rides. You can't really talk when your girlfriend rides that bigger bike than
$65,000
you.
for a bike. We spend
Hey,
65
It's
for a
not the
bike.
size of the bike. It's
Hey,
not-
I'm gonna side with Glenn on this one. Paul, you can't talk until you buy a liter bike. You need to get a liter or bigger, then you can talk.
Damn,
Oh,
are we?
is that it?
We're all
Okay.
over.
No, so okay.
Makes.
AJ,
Yeah.
what tools have you acquired over your time in life that you've learned so that these are the 5 things that you must have, or remind yourself that, you got these, tools here at your disposal, to when you're in a tough spot like that, when things are piling up on you, you're like, okay, I'm good. I got this. I got these things. I could get through anything with these, MacGyver tools.
I'd say like the biggest one would be like having competence in certain aspects of life, like the tire situation. Like I watched my dad break down tires on tractors before, so it's just like, okay, let me try out his technique. And I've seen guys put tires on wheels, so it's just like, okay, let's do that.
That's
So
cool.
it's like slow down, breathe, get my emotions in check. Like, oh shit is gonna happen no matter what. Everyone's gonna have that oh shit moment, but it's like take a step back. Use like Eckhart Tolle, if you guys are familiar with him. I'm sure
Yes.
Paul is.
Yeah.
Power
Yes,
of
very
now.
much.
Mhm.
Get that what's the word I'm going to try to use here is like acknowledge your emotions at the time, but don't act on the emotions until you figure everything out at that time, and then relax and then figure out a game plan from there.
Yeah, one of the things I learned from is it Eckhart Tolle or Eckhart Tolle?
I don't
It's
know.
Eckhart
I've heard of
Potato,
Tolle.
potato.
It's
Whatever.
It's told. Yeah, it's told.
Tolle.
Well, whatever. That book, one of the things that it really taught me to focus on is sort of like the third party perspective of
Yes,
what's
bingo.
going on. And you can, when you realize that you can actually view yourself and how you're acting and your emotions at the same time, almost like a third party.
the observer effect, kind
The
of.
observer effect, you could actually take a step back from your emotions and see what's going on in the moment. And then you could actually question, like, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
And that's when you can perfect that. That's how you don't get lost in your own emotions and stuff like that. It actually helps with your frame.
It does a lot. I'm glad you brought that up. I have an entire chapter on emotional durability. that dives quite deeply into the third party neutral observer or mentor effect and how to develop that in your life to stay in the moment. So it's a super powerful tool.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted to save you for the end, Thor.
Oh,
that's what she said.
Ooh.
Yeah, she did say that. I heard her twice. Nuke, what's your go-to tools that you like? Okay, she hits the fan, you're like, I got this.
All right, so me and AJ, we're both train reactor operators, so we don't have a lot of time to react in the plant. Usually, what's the longest casualty we have? Like 1 minute is the longest we have for like the worst casualty.
That's like if it's like high chlorines in a steam generator, where we don't really give a shit about it because we're reactor operators and reactor technicians. I'd say like real life situation would be like the 10 seconds for a double-ended shear streamline fast leak.
So there's a casualty and this applies to all nuclear plants where if cold water gets introduced to the reactor, colder water than usual, which could happen any which ways, what can happen is you're going to have a fission product released into the atmosphere, meaning it's the end of the Navy as we know it. Like the Navy is done. All ships have to come home. There's going to be a big press secretary. We got to apologize to a country. We got to pull all the dead whales and dead dolphins out the water. Like it's a big deal. And you have 10 seconds to make that decision whether to destroy the reactor and destroy the ship or wait to see what your indications are. So they got to train us to be able to like take in what's going on faster. Now, as you leave the military and you're kind of like life slows down, a lot of veterans say life gets a little too slow for them. And they, you get used to like a slower pace because you don't have to make those decisions, life and death decisions that fast. Whether they're in a battlefield, flying a helicopter, or operating a reactor. So my first thing is chill, slow down. Like don't make any rash decisions, right? Slow down. And number two is that if you have some emotions, let them out right there. Get them out the way, right? Don't take them out on anyone. Like let's say, AJ, you popped your tire. I would have pulled over the road. I would have like punched a tree and kicked some rocks. And I would have been like, okay. And then you're like, okay, I got that out the way. What's next? What's the plan now? What's step one? Okay, I got to call this person to get me a new tire. Okay, I got to cancel this. I got to move this around. And then once you have a plan, you'll be surprised how your anxiety goes away because now as a man, you have a plan and you're just like, okay, plan's working. Now I can just let the plan work. And I already did what I had to do. Everything's out of my control now. I just watch the plan as it goes along and I'm good. And that's all you can do really.
See, when I get mad, I pull out my stuffed animal that looks like HUDs, and I just pound the living snot out of it, and I call them all kinds of names and
what
stuff.
do you mean by
Don't-
pound?
don't-
Yeah, wait, you pound? You
Oh
pound?
yeah, I pound it. I give them the pounding. I give them a real good pounding.
HUDs?
Wow.
Is that the air inflatable HUD you showed me?
Did you install
Yes.
Flashlight in it?
You know the one with the 4 different like speech patterns?
Its arms are all sticking out like this.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's weird. He shows me videos of him pounding this wall.
And the fact that it looks like him, he said, well, I would make that same face.
Oh, that's why you're learning voodoo, Glenn. That's why you were telling me yesterday, like, oh, I'm trying to learn voodoo for science, for science purposes.
Exactly. It's for science.
Is this where John Cena got the idea of his OF channel now?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm thinking,
exactly.
Got it from Golden Lawrence?
But Mike Steele, what about you? Like, because I like Nuke's thing. I just normally like to hit people, but that's frowned upon in this society, so I don't do that anymore. But what about you? What about you, Mike?
This is going to sound really morbid, but whenever something like that is happening to me, something very stressful or something that's challenging me, and failure could mean something horrible like homelessness, I just think to myself, one day I will be on my deathbed and I will look back at this and think to myself, that was an interesting day.
Memento mori.
And that solves the problem. Or even worse, one day I'll be dead. So what the hell does this matter? This is nothing compared to death. So just
a bleep in time.
Yep.
Just a moment in time. That's really good. I don't think a lot of guys do that enough where like they don't just say like, you know what? This is just a moment in time. Tomorrow I won't have to deal with this. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
that's
the
fact
nerve.
right there. It's
Stepped
fact.
on the nerve.
what?
Stepped on the nerve.
Is that nurse
There
chick
we
taking
go.
over Paul's?
Not the,
Yeah,
no,
I
no,
think
no,
so.
no,
I
that's
think
me.
so.
Look, it's got the wrench.
Oh,
See?
Oh, it's so nice that you said you act so tough across states, buddy.
You guys ever laugh it off too? Just laugh it off, like,
Oh,
man,
yeah,
I'm having
all
a
the time.
shit
Oh, yeah.
week.
Yes.
You just, it's all comedy to you.
That's a good thing. That's a really
Yeah,
good
I did that so much in the rail. Like whenever something like bad, like chain of event, bad things happened, I just start laughing. The craft union employees would be like, "Why the hell are you laughing?" I'm like, "Because you guys fucking did this. I'm gonna go home." Later.
We're so fucked. Have a good day.
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.
HUDs. I'm skipping Thor for a reason, but HUDs. So when you break a nail and your favorite soap opera's not on, how do you handle your day?
Absolutely. So this actually is pretty timely for me to think about. And I think the best thing you can do is reframing what's going on. That requires you to have control of your emotions so that you're not completely freaking out and you can think about things clearly. But for example, recently I made a very poor investment decision and lost a few $1,000s and was really kicking myself in the ass about it. I was really pissed off.
Was that your OnlyFans account that you started up?
No.
Oh.
But I could either beat myself up and completely freak out and be defeated. And yes, I was a little bit depressed about it. But instead of being defeated, I actually took a look at it from a different perspective. How did this happen and why did it happen? And why am I feeling this way now? And actually what I ended up doing is I ended up consolidating a lot of my finances because I realized my money is in too many different places and I have too many liabilities all over the place. So instead of beating myself up about it, I turned it into an opportunity to add more organization to my life so something like this doesn't happen again in the future. So I think whenever anything bad happens, there's always a cause and effect of it. So what caused this situation? Is there something I can learn and something I can change to avoid this and start to improve?
That's good.
No, that's great. That's great. It's like you just, okay, how can I make this better for next time?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I can
reframing
organize better. If I was more organized, then this wouldn't be a problem. Here, let me troubleshoot this problem now. That's great.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I was disorganized until something like that happens. And you know how banks are. They're not always immediate transfers between things. So then I'm caught with certain bills and things due and things are not in the right place. And I'm like, I am looking at like 40 different things trying to figure out the organization here. We got to consolidate down.
Yeah. Now, one thing you guys all touched on was like emotional regulation, being able to regulate your emotions. Now, that's a trait that is learned over time. And a lot of young guys in this generation are not being taught how men ought to regulate their emotions. They're actually being taught how to behave like women, to embrace their emotions like a woman embraces their emotions and reacts like a woman does. And that's where we see all these horrible, terror, or domestic terrorist attacks, right? With people driving over people, kids going to school with guns and stuff, like all that nonsense, I say is contributed to young men not being taught how to be stoic, how to control their emotions, and they're being taught how to be a woman. And they just fly off the handle like chicks do. So Thor, please, because everybody already mentioned having this emotional regulation, but for these young guys coming up who don't have a dad that could teach them, no dads even today, even our generation, don't know how to, teach that, emotional regulation very well. So it's kind of a lost art. So how does one guy get this?
A young guy, even a middle-aged guy now that's going to start this is up against a challenge. Let's just face that, because he's going to have a lifetime of habits and it's going to be difficult. And he's been taught to express these emotions. In some ways you should, but you need to regulate them. There's plenty of evidence now that a person who can regulate their emotions actually has generally a much longer life and has more happiness out of life because they can take the obstacles that are thrown at them. So I'll just be very basic if I was talking to a guy for the first time and he has trouble with emotions. Number one, exercise, get good sleep, eat right. You have to start with the physiology. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. The second part of this is you have to adopt a couple of mottos. Just to be very simple.
Models?
Like models, mental models.
Oh, so you're not picking up models. Okay.
No, that would work too. But
okay.
One of the mental models that was given to me early on, actually, both of these were by my father. And one of them was the old Boy Scout model, which is to be prepared. And what that means is you're going to be prepared for every worst case scenario you can think of. You're not going to go overboard, but you're at least going to think about it. And what would your response be? It's kind of like problem solving skills. You know, you guys see problems and you start, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? It's like going in reverse, which is actually really hard and effective. What bad happens? What bad happens and then avoid it? What bad happens and then avoid it? So that's a reverse way of problem solving skill. So be prepared, you know, plan for the worst, hope for the best. That's another way to say it. The second part of it is interesting because my dad always told me this. And when I heard Jocko Willink say it, it struck me. That's one of the first things I thought of when I came to from this last surgery was good. There's got to be good out of this. And no matter how bad things get and overwhelming to you, there is something good. And what is that good? I can only think of the things that were the biggest themes in my book and my life is actions. Taking actions is always good. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You have to not take action. It's if you guys are depressed, you guys are emotional, any action is going to resolve some part of that situation. It's hard to kind of conceptualize, but actions are everything a man needs to become in any situation, you know. And no matter how dire it is, there's something good. Change in mission plan will reveal something that you may have never considered. And since you're prepared for worst case outcomes, now you're able to capitalize on those. So I know that's kind of not a complete answer when it comes to emotional regulation, but being in the moment is the final part. And then taking time later when you're doing mindfulness or exercises, it's okay to feel some emotions by yourself and with your brotherhood. And I know you're going to get into that next. That's an excellent way to start dealing with these things.
Yeah, because one of the 5 things that Huds and I came up with was, you know, you need to have the right tribe with you. You know, I like to say it's who are the guys that I wouldn't mind being in a foxhole with.
Yeah,
you know, and taking fire. You know, when our brothers are down and they're going through shit, you know, they need us to be in a foxhole with them, right? And we have to be selective and know, like, okay, hey, these guys are investing in me. I'm investing in them. It's that we're there. I know they're there, you know. And are you surrounding or investing your time in establishing a solid tribe of men that are going to be able to kick you in the dick when you need to get kicked in the dick, you know, and be able to pick you back up when you're throwing a pity party for yourself? And are they going to be able to shoulder that burden a little bit for you, but not take it all off of you? Yeah. You know, like, is your crew like that? Do you have guys like that in your circle? If you don't, if you can't say for a fact that you know that in the worst case, you know, worst thing happens at 3 a.m. in the morning, you could call this person or this person and they will come through for you, then you got to question your circle.
Yeah.
So I think finding your tribe, as Huds put it, is, you know, if not one of the top things that you must have as a guy, because we always try to do it alone. And then what do we end up happening? What do we end up seeing? We don't even realize somebody is going through something. And then we get this horrible news that they did something, you know, real drastic, and nobody knew that they were struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which car are we taking?
I'll say one thing about that. There are brothers of blood and there's brothers from blood. Same with sons. There are sons of blood and sons from blood. And what I mean is the ones that have bled with you. They may not be your blood. those bonds can be really, really strong and last a lifetime. And I've had that happen. You can't discount that when you're dealing with your emotions and other men. It makes life so huge. And of course, we would always cautious, guys want their social connections. And there are some guys that will tell you the right things. This is real common in corporate America, right, Paul? They'll tell you what you want to hear, but they're really, it's just kind of placation to, you, they like being around you or whatever. And just take that with a grain of salt and be aware that that's out there too. But you can really see the friends that you have is an important network to have.
For sure. Oh, great. Who let the Russians in? I thought this was the Putin free zone.
I talked briefly about tribes in the motorcycle detail video after I went over all the steps for detailing a motorcycle. So.
Nice.
Isn't it amazing the technology we live in, that I can meet men for the last 10 years remotely and then meet them in person? Glenn, San Diego, Paul Benjamin, San Diego. Yep. And spend all the time with these guys that I really connect with. And not only that, I have the friends I met in real life, my sons that are out there, and connect those guys. It's pretty good. I mean, don't discount that and don't always be a lone wolf. You can do monk mode, and we support that in a lot of cases, but definitely have that group out there that you can, offer aid to, and they can offer aid to you. It's a mutually beneficial thing to do.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Thor, because I saw just a fraction of your tribe just over going through what you've been battling recently. I made a GoFundMe for you. And then within 7 hours, we had like $10,000 in there. It was crazy.
All you guys, yeah.
And it's just like all those people jumped in, chimed in, and you guys could still go out there and help and donate. Please do. But everybody said, you know what? That's my guy. He's been there for me. He's helped me. This is my time to get in that foxhole with him. And it's like, you want to be the kind of guy that people want to jump in the foxhole with and not watch you have to go it alone.
I appreciate you saying that. And then
it's also like, what value do you bring to the group, or what value do you bring to your tribe is also important. And Thor, obviously you can see that you have brought in a lot of value.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to intend on doing that as long as possible. So let's move on from that subject. Let's don't give that.
I was just using that moment, like to showcase, like, wow, Thor has a lot of people that want to hop in this foxhole, that would just do it at a drop of a hat. And it's
because Thor would do it for us,
Exactly. So that's the kind of your reaction you want people to have when they hear that you're struggling through something or that you need them. Like they just drop what they're doing and they're there for you. But the reason that it's possible is because Thor has been that guy for so many people. So it's like you get in kind of what you put into it, right?
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what did you guys all touch me, and another thing that touched me. We have slammed the whammon a lot because we have fun with it, and we're tongue in cheek here, and it's fun to go back and forth and do those sort of things.
They need it too. They like it. They enjoy it. Secretly.
And they do. And I'll say this about my history with my wives, my girlfriends, and even grade school friends. They all pulled together in a tremendous wave of support that I did not expect. So, you can treat people well throughout your life and not have the animosities that a lot of people build up. I'll just say it's possible, and it shocked me. So thank you.
Better than when you found them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to offend you online.
So another thing I think is important to have is the right mindset.
Here we go,
I
Paul.
think Paul would say like mindset is probably the most important thing for the individual that's going through it, because no matter who comes around you to help you, unless you are, picking yourself up and you believe in yourself, or that you believe you could get through this, unless you have that mindset that you could be victorious over this, it doesn't matter who's there to help you, you will fail without that mindset. So mindset is important, right, Paul?
Everything starts with the mind. Everything, all your actions.
Yeah, sex does a lot.
Comes down to your mind. That's going back to what Huds was saying about reframing. That's a mindset thing. That's an NLP tool. That comes from NLP. The concept of reframing and just changing how you're thinking about the situation is paramount. And the reason why people end things, they zero out and it's because they don't have the mental strength to push through that situation. They mentally have checked out. They've mentally given up on themselves. And it's like, if you got to work on that mental muscle, in order to avoid situations like that. Because most of your problems are temporary, and you've got to understand that. Whatever's happening to you right now, it's temporary. What's it, the biblical saying, this too shall pass, right?
Shoot, that's all of them in the long run, Paul.
Yeah. So, but most people, they want to, when they get to that really dark place and they want to, they end up with a permanent solution to a part-time problem, and so, yeah, it being able to mentally push through struggle like that is, it's key. It's key to success, because life isn't sunshine and roses all the time, and anyone that says it is full of shit. They're selling you something.
Yeah.
But how you deal with things, that's on you. That's 100% up to you and how you think about things, which goes back to mindset.
Yeah. I think too, it's the social media exacerbates it because we see everyone having perfect lives all the time. There's no way, I want a life like theirs. And then like 5 years later, you hear that like a good example is Will Smith and Jada, where they were the Hollywood good couple, the couple that played by the rules. Everyone wanted to be like them. They were a model family. And look at them now. Will Smith was suffering for years and people looked up to him so much. And it's just like, you can't be using online kind of like examples for your own life. You have to go about what's in front of you and also realize that online isn't real. There's people, everyone's posting their highlight reels every day. Look how cool I am. Look how fun I am.
Yep.
My life's perfect. Yeah, and the only reason they'll post something negative about their life if it'll get them clicks, and if it already happened, they won't post it. They always say, "I just want to let you guys know I've been battling a divorce. I've been in divorce courts for 2 years, but I'm finally divorced today." Everyone's like, "Whoa, what? Like a year ago you were like fine?" I'm like, I wasn't fine. I was pretending to be fine.
Right.
So, yeah.
I will say this, that social media is not the place to be vague booking and posting your fucking mental shit. That's kind of that's very not masculine to do that,
That's a bitch tactic. Okay, guys, that's a bitch tactic.
I see it a lot. I see it especially on Facebook. That's why they call it vague booking, right? Because people will sit there and just dump out all their emotions and all their shit and like, I'm just being used and and that they're talking about their ex-wife or their ex-girlfriend, and you're like, dude, but they're super vague about it, but they're talking about someone specific. And they're hoping to get that sympathy from everybody else. They're hoping that their ex sees that and goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm a bitch. I should stop doing. I should fix this." And that's never gonna happen. You look like a pussy. You gotta fucking stop doing that.
Or all the male orbiters. I would never treat you like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because it's what women do. Like women will do that. So if you're a dude doing that, what the fuck, bro?
Exactly.
You guys,
what you should do. When you find out your girl is stepping out on you and she's being a mean person, you don't cry about it online. You don't go, "Woe is me." You just go bang her best friend, right?
Yeah. Bang her sister, bro. That's how you do that.
Man, I wish I knew that because my ex didn't have a sister, but her best friend was in Washington.
You go bang her mom then. God damn it.
Exactly.
No, her mom's a paraplegic. It ain't
There's
gonna
a
work,
way.
man. Her mother's a paraplegic. It ain't gonna work.
Which
It could work. It worked.
Why can that not work?
Take that dread level 20.
She's got holes still. Okay, just because her legs don't work and shit,
She's
Oh my god.
painkillered out.
It can happen.
Paraplegic.
I just want to say I hate how effective going to see other women after you get your heart broken is to heal you. I hate every so
It's so
often,
wrong, but it's so
Yeah,
good at the same time, right?
Yeah,
There's
like
reason,
I'll
there's
feel
a reason why there's that saying. The easiest way to get
over
forget
somebody
about
is
somebody
under
is, under 10 other people.
It's part of
Yeah.
our nature,
The
gentlemen.
easiest,
Part of our
easiest way to
nature.
get over old pussy is get into new pussy.
Yeah, and it's like as I get older, it takes about this less and less, but still, it's like, why is it so effective? Like, no amount of talk therapy, no amount of sedations, no amount of positive mindset will beat you going to smash a slut somewhere down the street.
Well, I think it's because
Getting
a
your
lot
back
of
your
a lot of
Chemistry
guys have a
engineering.
scarcity mindset when it comes to women, and
Yeah.
when one relationship ends, they're like, "Well, I'm never gonna find love. No, I'm never gonna have sex again. I'm never gonna find a girl." And then you go out and you bang a chick, and you go, "Oh, wait a minute. There's plenty of other chicks out here. There's lots of other pussy. Okay, I guess
It's one of the few truths in those blue-pilled Hollywood rom-coms where the guy's heart gets broken and the best friend shows up with a bottle of Jack, like, we got to go get you laid, man.
Yeah, it's like
It's like,
Yeah,
do you guys remember that movie? Is it called Breaking Up? The Jamie Foxx one when Nia Long broke up with him, and he was like his job was to like fire people at work. So he would fire like for his boss. He would go to his fill in for his boss and fire all the employees.
okay.
Well, he wrote a book about how to like break up with chicks based off of it, and as a comedy. I think this is like a 90s movie. Maybe some of you guys are too young.
Oh, so it was actually funny because
Yeah,
90s
it was actually good.
It was
Why
funny.
is it offensive?
Like he went through a horrible breakup, and then he learned used his skills to like help guys break up with chicks or break up with bad girls.
Yeah, it looks like it's called Breaking All the Rules.
Breaking All the
And
Rules. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've never
from
seen that one.
2004.
You know what is a good breakup movie is Swingers.
Is it?
Yeah.
I heard
Oh,
that.
to me, that's the ultimate breakup movie, because you just see the main character, Jean Favreau. He's just spiraling downward. He's been pining over his ex-girlfriend for 6 years. He's just
6 years. God.
just a
Jesus
pathetic
Christ.
dude. And his friends are like, "Come on, baby, you're such a beautiful baby. Let's get out there. Let's go get you laid and shit." And then he meets Heather Graham, and everything changes.
The worst breakup movie is Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. Holy shit. That is so depressing. It's so hopeless. It's one with Jim Carrey, and he gets he gets that procedure to erase the memory of his ex, but she still breaks through.
Damn.
Oh my god, it's so hopeless. I'm like,
Talk about like the reverse of Alpha Widowed.
yeah, it's definitely that.
Pussy
Yeah,
widow.
It's one-itis. That is one-itis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Another like good tool is to always plan ahead for shit hitting the fan.
Contingency. Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't necessarily you're not looking forward to it. You're not trying to put it out there in the atmosphere. You're not trying to make it a reality, but it's good to have, okay, when shit goes south, I got this buffer here that gives me, some time to respond, to gather myself and respond. And that comes with preparation, whether it's finances, make sure you have X amount in savings that you don't touch. Like, hey, this is my oh shit emergency fund, or if it's like, you lose your job, you're like, okay, I got the finances covered, but I also got networking. I've been networking. I know a lot of different people. I could pick up the phone and get a new job right now if I wanted to. But you only did that with preparation and networking, right? So planning ahead for worst case scenarios.
That's important.
So like, if your girl leaves you already make that connection with her best friend, and you could do the nuke game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, that's
like
a much-
also like having a fire extinguisher in the house, having firearms, hell, even level 4 plates.
No, I agree. I mean, guys, that's really, it sounds radical, but it's not. It's really smart. Now people go overboard with that, right? Of course they do, because they become a little obsessive with what's going to happen, and it can create paranoia. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking.
Yeah, it's not like you have like a literal like book where you're saying these are the like breaking case of emergency, but you should be attractive enough at this point where girls are swarming around you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like you when you went into your relationship and you became monogamous, that you stayed true to that, but it didn't mean that you weren't able to communicate and interact with people on a social level.
What were they saying?
even-
Catch and release is legal, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
some states.
Definitely in Texas.
But it's like, you know, you made your commitment to this individual and you uphold it, but that doesn't mean you lose your connections and with people and, you know, community, you know. So you still maintain that good impression, you still keep yourself sharp, you still keep yourself, you know, attractive enough to where it's like, hey, when shit goes south, it's cool.
So Glenn, you and I talked about that because let me clarify real quick.
Yeah.
We talk about the escape plan when you're in a relationship. People will say, if you think about the worst and you plan for the worst, then you actually plant seeds for that to actually occur. I would counter that as not the case at all.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can. I would say if you dwell on it and you make that your focus,
Yeah.
you will arrive at what you focus on. But if you make the plan as your emergency kit and stick it away where it goes, you're okay because you're not at a loss when the emotions are high. You have actions to take. That's the difference. It's just like if I were to use the analogy of that's real popular in the men's self-help space, which is burn the boats. Burn my boats. I'm going forward. That is a suicide move. That is a Hail Mary that you're
That's a kamikaze.
It's a kamikaze move. Can it work? Yeah, to destroy, to sink the destroyer, it can work. But much like my ancestors did, they didn't burn their boats. They disassembled them, make weapons, and they made catapults, and they hiked them across canyons and valleys so they could get to the other side. And now they had their technology ready to attack their enemies. It took harder, more skill, but they also didn't squander any resources, you know, on a gamble. Now, I'm not saying that a burn your boat situation can work, but there's plenty of them that I've seen in business that don't work. You know, you got to plan ahead a little bit and be smart. That's all I was saying is be smart. Don't dwell on it, because I think HUDs is correct. If you're dwelling, you do plant the seeds in your mind, and if you're dwelling on what you fear, it will come to pass. But if you acknowledge it, by acknowledging it and planning for these things and then sticking them aside, you give it a lot less power.
Yeah, it's like insurance. You know, it's like you don't plan to get in a car accident every time you get in your car, do you?
Yeah, those are the same people that say, well, if you get a prenup, they're guaranteed to get divorced because of your mindset.
Well, if you don't get a prenup, she already comes in with a prenup. So then you just need a prenup to make it fair.
Yeah.
So Hudge, what did you think about that assessment? You still disagree, or did I?
No, I actually 100% agree with you, and I'm glad that you clarified with that. If you focus on it, you will make it come to fruition.
Yeah.
But acknowledging it, nothing wrong at all with that. It comes back to what Paul was talking about at the very beginning. Like if you're thinking about something, it's going to happen. If something bad happens and you carry that with you, then maybe you get a flat tire too after stubbing your toe that morning.
So that actually comes up to one of these other 5 talking points, right? Having a plan, right? Plan ahead.
Oh, my favorite one.
One of the things that is Nuke's favorite one. One of the things that I learned from Bob Proctor years ago, right, is if you're thinking about debt, right? If you're thinking about debt, whether it's get in or get out, you're going to have debt, okay? Because your mind can't distinguish between positive or negatives. So he's like, just come up with a plan, come up with a debt repayment plan, and then don't think about it anymore. You know, now you have a plan, you have a strategy to get out of the debt. You don't even have to think about it. And if you're not thinking about it, you're going to get it. It's not going to be a problem anymore. You know, it will eventually work itself out. Same thing like Thor's illness, right? We're moving off the topic of that, but Thor doesn't have to worry about that. Let the doctors worry about that shit. Yep. Right? Thor's worried about fucking moving on and moving forward. He doesn't have to worry about that. That's the doctor's job.
Same thing applies to women, especially like you have a career, you have your goals, you have people you have to take care of, like your parents and your family, and all that stuff. Like, right, you have to be attractive, right? But at the same time, you can't think about every single little emotion your girl has and validate every single one, right? You have to kind of listen to her and let that little storm die itself out. And then you say, okay, baby. And then maybe you take her out and relax and you reward. And the more she is able to put her own fire or her own storm of emotions out, you reward it, right? Because if you want this ship to go faster and run better, you're going to have to calm yourself down. I can't always do it for you. right? Because I have the world on my shoulders, and you wouldn't have it any other way, right? Because that's what you want. You want a man that could carry that world in front of you and look good doing it. So
Nuke, telling them to go in the corner and fix their face is not a good thing to say.
Depends on what you're into, you know. Maybe she's
Hey,
into that.
go fix your face. Go fix your face. Don't come at me with that face. Go fix your face. When your face is fixed, come talk to me.
There's a lot of women that would be definitely into that because of the lack of masculine men nowadays. They will definitely respond to that because guys simply take their problems and make it their problems too. I'm like, hey, they saw something sad on TV and now they're emotional. I'm like, well,
yeah, stupid
sorry.
Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, I have a nice. I have a meeting, and I'll take you out for ice cream later. But you need to figure that out. Have a nice day. Something, but yeah.
Yeah,
sucks to suck. All right, peace.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, the mental plan or having a plan in general is good. But I think another aspect of having a plan is actually pulling the trigger and executing it.
So I have a question for you. I have a question for you, Glenn. What do you think that men not understanding priorities makes their plans harder to execute? You think that, like, say, I have this plan, and then they get all these distractions, and they the plan ends up being take care of everything at once and do everything poorly and stuff like that?
Yep. I think, I think there's a few things that take place in that. Feeling the need to have to do it alone, on their own, all this stuff that they have to tackle. I have to do this. I have to be the one to do this. Instead of realizing, okay, you know what? I don't have the time to execute all of this and get it done properly at once, you know? And instead of being able to enlist your tribe, to help you out at this point, you will end up failing. And you'll do a horrible job trying to just throw all this shit together last minute. And then what you end up doing, then you start making excuses. Well, I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't get this done right because, I was dealing with this and then I had to deal with that. Then you start making this laundry list of excuses to why you weren't prepared when you could have made a plan, or if you already made the plan, there's no reason for you not to execute the plan when it's time to execute the plan. I think one of the things is that we get too trigger shy.
I agree.
We'll make a great contingency plan. When shit happens, this is what I'm going to do. But when shit actually happens, you don't do that. You kind of wait, hold on. Is this the real world? Is this the drill? Is this the real thing? Okay. And by that time, you already wasted too much time. And now you just increase that problem 10 times worse. And you still haven't pulled the trigger.
Yeah. It's like the stone in your shoe when you're walking. It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah. And at that point, who knows, maybe that plan that you had already initially drew up would not work now because you took too much time. The problem grew to where that plan wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So
it could be as simple as changing a light bulb. And if you don't change it over 2 months, it's just going to stare back at you. And I got to change that light bulb. And then eventually you change it and you're like, you'll feel embarrassed. You're like, why did I take so long to change that light bulb? I feel like an idiot now.
A better example, I guess, would be like cleaning your shower. Like you got the little patch of mold and soap scum down
on the corners. Yeah.
Yeah, in the corners. But if you put it off, what happens? It spreads and spreads and gets thicker and thicker. Then you got to get in there with Zep like abuela and the rubber gloves and put on a gas mask just to break through it now.
The solution to that is just hire an abuela.
I was going to say, why don't you just hire one?
Just hire my mom. Just hire my grandma.
Have them come once a week.
You don't want your mom working for RP Thor.
No.
There's a lot of stains here. I don't know where they came from, but they're gonna be more made
on the black light.
Oh, Thor. Oh.
Oh, is that what you call your hammer?
While we're in between bullets, Glenn, I think we need to give our appreciation to this generous super chat.
Yes, I was gonna say, can you hit up Danny Arnold super chat?
Good old Danny Arnold.
Bring it up, Danny. Thank you, Danny. 1999. Morning, gentlemen. Here's a little something for the cookie jar. Skull. Well, my fellow Viking, thank you again. Super chats are welcome always. We really appreciate all participation on the Dragon Ship. Don't just participate on RP Thor. Every one of these men is broadcasting live to his channel. Go out there, subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that notification bell for every one of these channels we got. You will hear these names in perpetuity in the future. These guys are on a mission, and they're carrying that mission forward to help all raise that tide. I got AJ, Glenn Lawrence out in Los Angeles. I got out in Colorado. I mean, up and coming, Come On Man podcast, which is my favorite podcast on all the internet right now.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And then a close second is Newt because he's stomping it. Mike Steele's going to be coming up. Huds out of Philly. You're the best.
Yeah, he's the best gay dating coach there is, and there's an ad for it.
So that's why he has the pink neon behind him. Okay,
exactly. That's why it says "Hello, beautiful."
Hello, beautiful.
So, a part of the tribe aspect is being an example for your tribe, right? Like you can't expect guys to be there for you if you don't show that you're invested in the community that you're with, right? So like, don't you think that like that's part of preparation and building that tribe, making those connections, getting yourself involved with your peoples? Me and Thor, we talk multiple times throughout the week. Paul, every once in a while when I decide to answer his calls. No, I'm kidding.
Feel salty about that belt, huh?
Yeah, I am. I really am. Okay. I won the fight. That's all that matters.
VP and Master at Arms, they should be talking.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get the job done,
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna fight too?
We're gonna see it.
Too?
We're gonna see it.
I lost money with that. We're not doing that.
I'll come to you this time.
That would be
try wearing
yard.
Did you try wearing a Rey Mysterio mask? That would have been fun.
Did I order like the Nacho Libre masks?
Glenn had the fucking Ramses mask on.
Yeah, I had two of them. I had Ramsey and I had Nachos. So I think I chose Ramsey.
You had Ramses, yeah.
Yeah. Jack Black's last funny movie.
Yeah.
Hey man, he was a good Bowser.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was decent.
Oh,
he played
Bowser,
and he was all right.
So what are ways that we could be the example or be an example to our guys in our community that, show them that we could be there for them when they need it, but also that we're someone reliable that they could rely on when times are tough.
Admitting when you're wrong. That's big.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're never wrong.
Yeah. Ooh. So you guys got to teach me. I've never been wrong. So, yeah, admitting when you're wrong, and not doing it in a way that's like, hey, I'm usually not wrong, but you got me this time kind of way. Just like, hey, dude, my bad, and not expecting anything in return for anything, right? Another thing that I set the example for was to just this one's like kind of cliche, but just be kind to people, but not kind in a kind of pussy way, like kind in that know what that particular person's going through and kind of calibrate your approach, right? Like I'm not gonna bullshit with you the same way if your mom was in the hospital as if if I just found out, right? And it's just social calibration. A lot of guys look up to guys that are just good at socializing. That's what got me a lot of people in the military to follow me and to follow my orders around, because I knew how to make them laugh. I knew how to make them relax when it was time, when shit hit the fan, and just emotional control and social calibration. Because guys really in really fucked up situations, they're going to look for the most relatable guy and the guy they understand the best, right? When I used to do firefighting, right, I had my team, and before we would do firefighting, I'd shake them a little bit. I'd make fun of them. I like, hey, I kind of make friends with them and all that. And then when we were doing the drills, and we were getting yelled at by these guys that we didn't know, and we were getting graded, I just basically would always crush the drill, not because of me, but because the guys were just like, we're following this guy. We don't know what we're doing, but if he says go forward, we're doing it because this guy's a nice guy. I relate to this guy. So yeah, that's my take.
You know, just to add to what you're saying, Nuke, about being nice to everyone, it's more like being like Mad Dog Mattis, right? Be polite, be professional,
but have a plan to kill everyone.
But have a plan
to kill everyone you meet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
kill him. I kill him with my charm, you know.
Right.
It's funny because like people say like, you got to be nice. No, and they're like, well, the Bible says you got to be nice. No, the Bible doesn't say that. It says be kind.
Yeah, you
And so the kind and cordial. Kind is correct, and you can be kind to everybody.
Yeah,
and still, kill everybody too. You could
like an example. Like an example of that is if I work with you, we're on a ship or we're in a unit or whatever, and I heard something bad about you that you said about me. Instead of being nice would be avoiding you because I don't want any confrontation. Being kind would give you the space to shake your hand and see if you say something or something. That's kind.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when you're in a group of guys and you like them, you tend to bust on them a little bit, and you have that playful banter. But if you don't like a guy, you just don't say anything.
Yeah, you just
hey, nice to meet you, man, and then you shut the fuck up and don't acknowledge them.
Yeah, my favorite part of that whole mental mindset is when Jesus went to the temple and whipped the living shit out of the guys buying and selling in his house.
Do you think he suplexed anyone, Glenn? Do you think he suplexed any of those people
through a table?
I bet you there was like some like soul snatching whipping going on in there.
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
Choked him like Darth Vader is what you're saying.
Oh, even worse.
It was Darth Vader the whole way. Totally.
They looked into his eyes and they saw like, oh crap, I'm going to hell. But no, I think that's right. Being kind is critical for it doesn't cost you anything to be kind to people.
Yeah.
Except for HUDs. It really costs you a lot of patience. But it's like you get to say it's your one charity act out of the year, and you get feel good about it. I do.
I think it's the intent. I think it's the intent behind it because nice is like, I gotta say hi to this guy. I hate him. But kind of like, I don't like this guy, but he could be going through some shit. Maybe I can, brighten his day a little bit. He's a dick, but whatever. Hey, what's up, man? And then you shake his hand and you look in his eyes, and you know what? They usually shrink. Like the best part is when someone has a problem with you or a disagreement with you and you meet them and you're like, you're the first, hey, what's up, man? And you look genuinely like, hey, man, I don't really care about our beef. I'm just glad you're okay. They usually just like, oh shit, like I thought he was the asshole, but I might be the one. So yeah.
Well, that's really good.
Actually, that's a good point.
When you're with your network and you're building these friendships, reach out occasionally for no other reason than to acknowledge them as part of your circle. You're not asking for anything. Hey, I called you for this reason. You're not asking for an exchange. You're calling them to directly and genuinely communicate with them. Avoid getting into conversation where sign language is used, like for gossip or with other people. If you do get into a situation where somebody else comes up because somebody's stressed over somebody else, just whatever you say, you'd be happy to say it to their face. That's a good rule of thumb, and that'll avoid any assumptions that people make, and it'll make you more genuine for sure when you're talking about it. But that reach out occasionally, that's genuine for no reason, super powerful because it builds I can't tell you how many times I would have like an apprentice call me from state line. Hey man, I just want to say hi. Or I do it to him. Hey, I know you guys are out of Eli blowing caps on some splices. I've heard that it's like 12 degrees down there. How you doing? I don't want anything from him except to say hi. But those are some of the tactics that really really build that bond.
Yeah, I love
that recently.
Go ahead, AJ.
At my job, it's a data center. We did this event called Pull the Plug, where we actually literally tell our PLC to cut all the main breakers to the UPSs and have everything cascade in the generator.
Don't say that. Oh, that gives me a headache. Don't say that. Oh my God. Call us. Please call us first.
The guy who was leading it just got promoted to Tech 2. Really nervous. Everyone there, including myself, was giving him praises for leading us through a very good job. No issues whatsoever.
Nice.
Schneider was on site for that.
Yeah, and take pride in these people. I don't think we do that enough. Doing that
That
will
happens a lot.
Take pride.
Yeah.
Celebrate their successes.
Yes, not yours. Theirs.
It's
There's
not,
a lot
not
of people.
yours, it's theirs. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that if you give them even a little bit of responsibility, they may have been seen as a loser, as a freeloader, but you give them a little bit of responsibility and problems, and they'll do very well in the military.
You're giving them their time to shine.
Yeah, and that's what all they needed, that spark. And once they feel like, wait, if I do a good thing, and now people are clapping, and they get that positive feedback loop, and that's all it takes to get someone out of that loser mindset sometimes.
And it really gives them that out of that rut of lack of confidence too, because now it's like you've given them this task, and you put them on a stage now because it's all eyes on them, and they come out victorious, and they do a great job. Now they feel better about themselves. They hear all the accolades that you guys are saying, and they're like, yeah, I'm not a piece of shit. Look what I just did. We
have an example of that in Beer Club recently, without naming any names, because we keep people anonymous in there. But we had a guy who he brought it to the group, he brought it to the Brotherhood, and he said, "Hey, man, I don't know what you guys think about this, but my boss, he's putting me on a performance plan. Should I leave? What should I do?" And and so we all said, well, if he's putting you on a performance plan, it wouldn't hurt to update your resume and start looking, because usually a lot of times employers are doing that. And then one of the other guys in the group said, he's like, yeah, I agree with all those guys too. He goes, but what you could do is in the meantime, just fucking work your ass off, fucking
create
do
some good
everything he
connections
says
before you leave. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that way, when you do finally put in your notice and say, yeah, I found a better job, they're going to maybe think differently,
or
and
double
still,
raise your salary. Yeah.
Right. And you also don't want to burn bridges, and you want to get good reviews and stuff when you leave places and stuff. And so he took that all to heart. And that's what I love about this guy, right? This guy is one of those guys that he comes to us, and we're not shitting on him, but we give him a lot of constructive feedback. and he doesn't get pissed at it. He doesn't, take it as an ego hit. He's like, no, you're right. Let me fucking do that. And he spent 15 hours one workday. He's like, he drops in the chat like late at night. He's like, guys, I just spent 15 hours knocking out everything my boss has been asking, working on these projects, just fixing all these problems. And his boss came back with just a glaring, like, fucking thank you, man. Like, what the hell? He had a fire lit under his ass, And so, yeah, you just need to sometimes give them their time to shine. And then when they realize, oh, fuck, if I don't butt heads with my boss and I do a good job, like I actually, can get accolades and stuff like that. People it changes their tune a little bit.
Yeah. Question for Huts. So you do coaching, right? So have your clients ever come to you and told you, hey, I finally got my first hot chick? How did it feel to them? It was like a transformative experience, right? Where they it's the power of belief, right? And that's one of the reasons why a lot of guys complain, because they really don't believe it's possible. They're just like, they have been convinced by society or themselves or someone along the line. They convince themselves that, like, hey, there is no way I could ever get this chick. And that's where all that hate's coming from. And then they get that one hot chick and they're like, wait. And then they may like, oh, it was a fluke. I just got lucky. And just like, no, dude, you did that with your effort. And now you know what's possible. Go forth. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what's crazy is, they'll go from being like completely sexless, maybe only had like one or two in like their entire life. And then they get that first one. And then all of a sudden they're spinning plates with like 5 girls. And they're like, I didn't know this was like a real problem. I thought this was like all make-believe.
Yeah. Like, it was only Blue Andrew Tate.
They only told me in the legends.
Yeah. The sacred text, So.
And that kind of brings up like the last point that I have, which is constantly improve. Okay. So you created your plan, you have your backup, safety net thing you got going on. But if you're not constantly improving your skills and acquiring new skills, you're setting yourself up for failure still. Acquiring new skills, even if it's something that you may not really think you're ever really going to utilize, you may never know when it's going to come in handy. For example, for me, I never thought I was going to get into the production side of filmmaking. I always thought, it's just going to be in front of the camera, and that will do my thing. That works for me, and it's easier because I didn't have to do much. But when I started getting into the production side of things, it helped me become a better actor, because now I know what they're doing when they're making, doing our blocking, when we're getting ready for the scene. And now I know why we have these different takes and different, camera angles and, all this stuff. I now know more by learning these skills and acquiring this new, these tools that could help me in what I'm doing on camera, but also allows me to do both, be working on camera and behind the camera. And it's just acquiring new skills. Even if, like, for me, I'm a slow reader. I've been forcing myself to listen to Audible books at 1.5, right? Just to work on consuming that information quicker. And it helped. It has helped me in a lot of areas. It helps me even when I have to do my Bible study reading, where, I don't want it to drag through. So I just kind of go through it. I'm able to read it a lot quicker, comprehend it, and move on. So it's just like, you can always have to acquire new skills or sharpen the skills that you have. The last thing you want is that go into your toolbox and your tools are all dull and they haven't been used in years. What a dull tool is almost as good as no tool at all,
or an ungreased firearm.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me, Mike. I need to clean and lube all mine.
Yeah, use frog glue. It's the best.
That you may or may not have lost in a tragic boating accident.
So what do you guys think? Like, what skills have you guys been acquiring lately that you find beneficial for you guys?
I've been working on building up my marketing skills, honestly.
Yes, you have.
I've been so Ryan Stone recommended a book fucking 2 years ago, and I my book list is so ridiculously long that I'm finally getting around to reading it, but it's called Launch, and it's all about how to market shit online. And if we're gonna do this professionally, we gotta fucking learn how the pros do it.
Yep.
So that's one of the skills I've been working on. I also just got my NLP certification, which honestly, I got the piece of paper, but I'm not I don't understand it quite well. I understand the concepts, but putting it into practice is different. So I've got to work on that still. So that's something that I'm still working on is understanding and being able to apply what I'm learning in NLP. So
is it me, or does anybody realize that Paul Bauer is slowly turning into a Paul Benjamin?
No. I'm not trying to bulk up, and I still haven't.
I didn't say physically. I didn't say physically. Okay.
Are you talking about
but
wait a minute, Paul.
Yeah.
You started your workout journey just a couple years ago. I'm almost saying 2 years. I saw what you're doing with your workouts now.
Yeah.
You will look transformatively different.
Still the TRT helps.
Give it some maturity and you'll see. It'll be pretty amazing.
Glenn, Paul Bauer is the Buddha of the red pill.
That's actually
He is
pretty
the Buddha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was the Wheeler Walker Jr. of the red pill.
I understand.
Mike, what skills have you been acquiring lately?
A lot of them have to are thanks to Thor. Definitely Glenn, you tell me, when you first met me, what was it like back in it was when you and Thor came out to do a dragon ship with Phil, and you guys were at the hotel and you did the interview with me and the fragrance guy.
Yep.
Between then and now, you tell me what you've noticed has changed about me.
Oh, your confidence level is through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disclose our conversation, but when I first met you, down in the dumps, back against the wall, not sure if something's gonna, something positive is gonna come out of, this move to Vegas, and next thing you know, look at you, man. Look where you're at.
Wasn't I a nervous little chihuahua?
Oh man, you were second guessing everything you were saying.
Yeah. And now I speak more slowly. I speak with confidence. I think about my words before I say them. I shake hands differently now, and a lot of that is thanks to
Oh, you don't do
Thor.
the dainty handshake anymore? Do you like, put some muscle into it?
No, I do the finger thing with the
Oh, okay.
that Thor
Okay.
taught me.
Oh,
And
you go.
yes, there it is.
Yes.
Good, get his book, guys. And but just because how do I explain this? It's not just, oh, Thor tells me to do a thing, I then do the thing, me better man, no, it's what is the basis of this? Was the philosophical principle of what he's teaching me, and then how I then take that, internalize it, and then it becomes a part of me without me copying Thor. Like, I'm not here trying to be a mini Thor.
Yeah.
I'm out here being Mike. So when I speak more slowly and calmly and I'm more stoic, I'm still Mike. I'm just a more stoic Mike. I'm not copying Thor. That's what's important.
I think
you
it's
want to make sure
great.
that everybody knows that you're not trying to be Thor.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's great. Like, whenever we learn new information, is taking that time to understand the principles behind it. A lot of times people just mimic whatever they hear online, thinking that, oh, all my problems are going to get fixed, but they don't actually like think about the actual information itself and figure out how to apply it to their own life in an appropriate way. And it sounds like you've been doing a great job with that, Mike.
Thank you.
Huds, what new skills have you learned?
Oh, well, I'm doing a lot of thumbnails and stuff.
Yeah, you are. On last minute calls.
I think the
Middle of the
number
night.
one, the number one thing that I've been working on the most right now has been patience, especially when it comes to like people management, like people skills, because I actually own an editing company, and there are times where like deadlines aren't hit or there's mistakes. And when I was first getting started, I would always be pointing those things out, and I would be getting frustrated, and it wasn't creating the best work environment for the editors. And so I'm continually working on that patience and understanding that, give what you get. Like, it's another piece of working with people. Like, if they're only giving you so much energy and their time, well, match it. Don't get frustrated that they're not giving more. You need to match the energy exchange between people.
Yeah, match their energy. So,
Mhm.
like, if they're not giving you a whole lot of energy, don't give them a whole lot of energy.
That's
Exactly.
that's excellent advice when especially like in the dating world, because you'll go and text with chicks, and a lot of guys over pursue because like a chick gives them like a 3-word answer, and then they're writing entire paragraphs to a chick. It's like, dude, you're sub communicating that you're overly invested in this chick, and that's going to put you at a weaker level than her. Like, you gotta sort of match and mirror her effort, and then go one notch lower. There's some science to this shit.
Yeah. AJ's about to dip out, you guys. So
I think I got two after that.
okay, cool. Let's how about we just go ahead and go around the horn real quick. Give your thoughts on some skills that guys should acquire for when shit hits the fan, and then where you guys are at, what you guys got going on, and yeah, all that good shit.
All right. You good?
I
My
put that in the
live
wrong
All right.
chat here.
Just
There
making
we
sure
go.
I'm still chatting. So skills, like I think we all went over a pretty good plethora of things to work on, especially like emotional control, stoicism, having your tribe, being that guy for your tribe. I think one thing that we kind of missed out on was a little bit of and you guys might not agree with me here, but modesty. Learn, like, have the skill of modesty. Like, yeah, be confident in areas, but you don't need to be that raging asshole dickhead with confidence and almost
Don't be arrogant,
being conceited. Yeah, arrogancy. You don't need
Or
that.
do.
There is a time and a place.
Yeah, there's time and place.
Yeah.
Thing that I've actually been working on a lot, and as I'm reading Frame from Ryan Stone, is that middle frame ground where everyone talks about the inner game, that being your frame, dealing with the trauma release. Yeah, I've done all that stuff, but that middle frame where you pretty much have to figure out how to regulate your emotions, and at the same time, if you're in a relationship, regulate your girl's emotions with your own emotions, which is kind of a cool way of thinking about frame, which I never really thought of at that time. Where to find me? You can find me on Instagram, AJMK6R20, AR Matthews 33 on X, and Arm Details motorcycle video is now live on YouTube. And that probably be on Tuesday night.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, AJ.
Thank
Paul.
Yeah, tune into my podcast on Monday. My 3% brother Taylor Michael Griffin is my guest, and he had some beef with the red pill. Right, he thought some of what is talked about in the red pill space could be potentially harmful. So I was like, let's talk about it, man. So let's come on the podcast. We'll chat about it, and largely, I think what it comes down to is just misconception of red pill, and then there's certain channels out there that give us a bad name. And they're not exactly helpful to women. And so you got to sort of understand what kind of content you're consuming, So we have a really good conversation. So tune into that Monday. Other than that, get an autographed copy of my book from Gumroad. I'll drop a link in the chat.
Yes, go support Paul, because if you guys go buy his book, he's going to be able to afford hair plugs.
Yes.
So
that's what the goal is here.
That's the goal. He wants that hairline back.
Help a brother with his hairline. Okay.
Hudsman.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, I'm a dating coach, and
gay dating coach too.
I don't do gay dating, but
He's
I can't.
Philly's best dating coach.
Philly's best gay dating coach for the gays.
I will help anybody. Recently, my most recent client is actually a single mother in her 40s. So that has been a tremendously rewarding experience, because really all I care about is helping people. So it doesn't matter if you're a woman or if you're gay. It doesn't matter where you are in life, with relationships, anything. If you're just starting out, if you're dealing with a breakup, if you're dealing with divorce, I've done it all. So best way to reach me is at the Hudsman on Instagram if you're interested in anything like that.
Or his Grindr account.
I don't have it. You will not stop with this. I don't know. I think you're projecting.
No, never that. Trust me.
Good answer.
Yeah, but that's about it. So reach out to me for anything, or just throw me a follow and look at some of the content that I've been putting out.
Yeah, Hud's got a good little group of guys that he got going on called Men of Now, and they got, it's kind of like a panel show like the DragonShip. So yeah, I encourage you guys to go check that out. I've worked with almost all of them, haven't I?
Yeah, I think so. I know Paul's.
I worked with Josh. I worked with Jaron.
I just had Jaron on my show.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice.
And who's the other guy up in the? You know what I'm talking about, the sobriety guy.
Joel. Yeah,
Joel.
Sobriety University. So it's an interesting collective, similar to like the DragonShip. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Great.
They put out good content. I like their stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks,
I
guys.
like that.
Nuke. Who are you dropping nukes on today?
Well, currently I have the flu, or I'm finishing off the flu right now. So, I'm not really tweeting too much. I didn't do a show on Thursday, but my shows are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. I talk about game, red pill stuff, and all that. And tomorrow we have Post Zero with the boys. It's like Rule Zero, but more chill. So guys, tune into that 10:30 Central Time, or 10 a.m. Central. We will talk about, I don't remember the topic, but I'll post it on Twitter. Skills I'm working on. I want to get classically trained on this guy. It's time for me to do something hard. I think one of the hardest things. I mean, that sounded weird.
Hey, Hudson. He didn't even say pause. He didn't even pause for it. He said, "It's time for me to get on something hard."
All right, Nuke.
I thought it was for my mom. I don't get it.
I'll say for a piece.
Anyways, yeah, I'm looking for a teacher to get classically trained, because it's gonna help with my brain function as I get older in life, doing something like that. And also time management. There's so many distractions now, especially now that I have a bit more presence online. There's always something or someone pulling me online, so I have to learn to section off the online stuff and all that. And then just bettering my salsa skills. and bachata skills, and overall just forgiving myself is like the big one because we've all done bad things to people or to ourselves in the past, and it lingers even though we don't think it does. But there are triggers and people and all that. There are times where I'm driving. It's very rare, like once a month or once every 2 months, I'll start gripping my steering wheel because something's reminded me of something I did or that was done to me, right? So, you just got to start letting go of the things you couldn't change and forgiving people, whether it be your parents, family, past women, right? And that's the great thing about the red pill, because you start forgiving every woman in your past and start thanking them for teaching you the valuable lessons that. So,
Forgiving
yeah, guys.
and never communicating, excommunicating, shitting on their front porch. Yeah, all the same thing.
Yeah.
For the forgiveness.
Setting their yard on fire, whatever you got to do, right? But yeah, thanks, guys. And I gotta go. I got an appointment, but it's been real. Thank you, Dragons.
Nuke's got to work on getting blocked more on X.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Mike
Paul's
Steele.
the number one most blocked man. Yeah.
I'm trying to get to that 5,000.
Dang.
5,000 people blocking me would be ideal. Yeah.
We all got goals, right?
Right.
Mike Steele, what you got going on, man?
I actually do have some stuff coming down the pike. Believe it or not, working on a little something with AJ for this summer. Working on a little something with Paul. And I think that's going to be fun. I may crank up the character a little bit more for that one, Paul, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, we got to work out timing on that.
Yes.
Are you guys going to start your barbershop quartet?
We're gonna do a pre-recorded episode where we do the barbershop quartet singing. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Ba, ba, ba,
Looking
boom.
forward to it.
And actually, believe it or not, I'm working on right now my first 2 product reviews, unsponsored product reviews. So I'm a guy who has tried these products that are either for men or for health in general, and I've tried them each for 30 days. And so you're going to get an unbiased product review. And one of them is a men's grooming product. Take a wild guess what it is. There could be some TMI, but it'll definitely be safe for the whole family. And
Well, I've done
Manscaped.
I've done commercials for both companies, Manscaped and Monera.
You're in the right
I'm sorry. I thought
area.
that was Fleshlight, Glenn.
You're in the right territory.
I thought that was Fleshlight.
No, that's HUD's. HUD's did the
I
flashlight.
don't know, man. I don't know.
You're in the right.
Let me tell you this. I didn't even know what the fleshlight was until HUD's
That's what I'd
explained
say
it to
too.
me.
Oh, dear God.
I'm the fleshlight guy. He's the sex doll guy.
All right.
Yes, I talked about the robots.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
But anyway, you're in the right area. But I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised with what I have to report.
If you come back with an anal plug, bro, we're gonna have a real conversation about things later. Oh, I'm kidding. Oh, father yourself.
Yeah, so I'm gonna work on some physical things. That's the road of improvement right now. And I was inspired by Paul. I got 10 in to sign, and they're available at becomedurable.com. And you're only gonna pay for shipping. So if you want a signed copy, I got 10 in ready to go. So that's pretty straightforward. Also available on audiobook. And of course, all these guys on the Dragon Ship. It is a universal effort. So, and it's really interesting to see how these guys develop, because I think they're all on the rise and the shine. So, Skull, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Oh, guys, just so you know, tomorrow, Thor and I will be doing some pre-records, and I think we're going to be coming back with the Trident.
I would love to do that. And since you mentioned it, Dragons, I'm going to do a hour to 2 hour open session for coaching tomorrow via Zoom. It's just one to try to make up for a missed meeting. So if you're a Dragons member, or if you're in that chat, come on by. It's open for members. Yeah.
Yep. And for me, what do I got going on? Well, I got some irons in the fire, guys. Got some projects coming up pretty soon, looking good. And got some interesting collaborations that you probably wouldn't expect me to be able to pull, that coming out in the next month. So get ready for that. Also, I don't know if anybody else been hit up, but have you guys been hit up by Vice magazine?
No.
I got hit up by Vice 2 days ago, and so I am
Aren't
just
they
gonna
going
have
out of
a.
business?
I think they shrunk business. I don't know if they're out completely,
Okay.
but yeah, I got hit up by a girl named Natalie from Vice, and I'm not committing to anything, but I have an interview with her on Tuesday to kind of see what this project is that they're doing that they want me to be a part of. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, I'll be with Thor tomorrow.
That's what I said, Mr. Pitt.
Don't work with Vice. It's a trap. Yeah, that's exactly what Thor said. He's like, yeah, be careful. He's like, be careful, kid. I'm like, yeah. If anything, I'm probably just gonna like do something super flamboyant and just dress like HUDs and be like, like, yo, like totally cool. I like my mocha latte, please.
Show up in your wrestling outfit.
That's basically his biker outfit.
That's basically my pajamas.
That'd be good.
No, but other than that, I'll be coming out with some new reaction videos with Elena Barr and Plutarch. And I think HUDs and I have to do another. No, we're not doing a fatties reaction. No more fatties, Elena. Stop it. Sorry.
Fatties reaction.
She likes to ruin my day and throw all these like big blobs on my screen, and I just can never.
Shame this horse.
Yes, I'd rather do that.
This horse. Shame this horse.
I swear she says that in my dreams. It just never stops. No, but I think me and HUDs have to do another breaking news.
Yes.
Our last one didn't get a whole lot of love, you guys. We need you to go out there, go to our channels, and go check out our last breaking news. We were HUDs. Quickly tell everybody what that last breaking news was about.
Dude, I don't even remember.
The boy bands, your favorite boy bands?
Oh yeah, how 90s music was actually programming men to become soft and women to become sluts, and we've got some proof about that.
We got receipts, so it's a good episode. You guys should go check it out. But other than that, stay tuned, guys. We got a lot more things coming from all you guys. So, without further ado, do we have a promo video?
You don't have to.
Okay, hold on. I found one.
Glenn, you're really good at leading this show.
Yeah, I really am. I have not done. Here we go.
You know what?
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Glenn Lawrence, and I got some unfortunate news to share. Our good friend RP Thor is currently in the hospital with the brain tumor, and it looks like they're going to be needing to do surgery soon. Now, normally I wouldn't worry because Thor is like what? The God amongst men. What's going to stop him? If thousands of volts of electricity couldn't take him out, I highly doubt a little whatever in his noggin is going to stop him. But it definitely will slow him down. And see, that's where the problem is. See, Thor's wife, Missy, she was involved in a horrible accident that left her in need of care around the clock. And that's what Thor's been doing, besides working and podcasting and coaching you guys. Yeah, pretty crazy. But now with him going under the knife and him going to need time to recover, his biggest worry is not that he's going to make it through. His biggest worry is, I need someone to take care of Missy. I need her to make sure that she has help. And that's where you come in. Donate at the link behind me, and you could help us fund Missy's in-home care provider during the time that Thor is recovering. So please, let's band together as men, as brothers, and let's go help a brother in need. Help him like he's helped you.
I'm RP Thor, and welcome to the Dragon Ship.